Today for lunch, Mom and I are going to have some pork chops. We're going to make a pork chop with a peach topping, and it's going to come with some roasted green beans. Let's get started. What we've got here, we've got 2 thick pork chops. In our bowl here, we place 1 teaspoon of garlic powder, 1 teaspoon of sage, and half a teaspoon of rosemary. We're going to just mix those spices all together. We're going to evenly spread that on both sides of our pork chop. We're also going to put a nice coating of salt and pepper on both sides. Just going to kind of rub that in. That way it sticks. If you enjoy our recipes, we'd appreciate it. You take a moment to like and subscribe and share our videos. You can find us on Facebook at Twisted Mikes, on Instagram on Twisted Mikes, or you can find us on TikTok at Twisted Mikes. I forgot all about TikTok. TikTok is a lot shorter videos though. Alright, same thing. A little bit of pepper on this side, a little salt. We're just going to pack that in. Over here we have a skillet. In that skillet we're going to take 2 tablespoons of butter, and we're going to put this on medium-high heat, and we're going to melt the butter. Our butter has melted. We're now going to add our pork chops to our skillet. We want to sear this 3 to 4 minutes on each side to give it a nice crust on both sides of our pork chop. We've taken a sheet pan and we've lined it with parchment paper. We put a little bit of olive oil on the bottom of that just to help us so it won't stick. We're just going to add a little bit of olive oil to the bottom of our sheet pan and on top of our parchment paper. I'll rub that around. Over here we have some fresh green beans. Now we've got these out of our garden. Mom grew these and we froze them and thawed them out. We're going to take our fresh green beans and we're going to place them on our sheet pan. It's going to be a wonderful combination of flavors. A little sage, and then we're going to have our cinnamon and our peaches. Lots of nice flavor. It's been about 1.5 minutes on our pork chops. Now while this is going on, we're going to go ahead and preheat our oven to 400 degrees. Alright, it's been about 3.5 minutes. We're going to take these and we're going to turn them. See how we got that nice crust from where the spices are? We're going to place that on top of that butter, and now we're going to cook this for another 3.5 minutes. I wish you could smell this. It smells absolutely amazing. Alright, it's seared on the other side. We're now going to turn the heat off there. Pull these off. Now if you want to take a look at these are about inch-thick pork chops. So we're going to bake this for probably 15-20 minutes. If you have a traditional size pork chops, you're going to do 7 to 10 minutes. We're going to take this oil that we had. We're actually going to pour this across the green beans. Just to give just a little bit of extra flavor. We're going to use the same pan. We're going to wipe it out. But we got that, that just helps give us a little flavor. We're also going to add a little bit more salt and pepper to the top of our green beans. A little olive oil. And we'll just add just a little bit of olive oil on top of our pork chops. And now we're going to place this inside our oven. While the pork chops are in the oven, we took a cloth and we wiped out our skillet. We're going to that. We're going to add 2 more tablespoons of butter. And we're going to put this on low. We don't want this on very high. We're going to add 1 tablespoon of brown sugar and a pinch of cinnamon. You're going to take one peach and you're going to peel it and slice it. We have some frozen peaches. These are fresh peaches that we've gotten and that we have stored in the freezer. We want to get those flavors nice and stirred and mixed. Just going to add our peaches. And we're going to cook this on low for roughly 5, 6, 7 minutes. You want to make sure you want your peaches to be soft, there's a little bit of firmness to them, but you also want to make sure that you don't burn it because you can burn it really quick with the brown sugar and with the butter. So we're going to simmer this for roughly 5 minutes. Our peaches have finished cooking. You can see the sauce is thickened up. They've caramelized nicely. We're going to set this off to the side until our pork chops are completely cooked. Alright, we've had those in the oven. Because they're extra thick, a little bit longer. Pull these out. We're going to temp them. You want to make sure that your pork is at a minimum of 140 degrees so you don't get sick. And we don't want to do that. So right here, it's above 140 degrees. It's perfect. Alright, what we're going to do, we're going to take these pork chops. Mom's going to hand me a plate over here with some aluminum foil. We want these to rest for 5 minutes before eating them. So we're going to sit these, put them on our plate. We'll wrap them tightly so they can remain their heat. And we're going to let that cook. It's going to cook just a little bit while longer. We're going to let that rest for 5 minutes. We're going to take a fork here. And if your fork easily goes through your green beans, they are done. And it looks like our green beans are actually they're pretty much done. And they're done because we have the larger pork chops. If you use the small pork chops that are like half an inch thick, again, you're only going to cook that for 7 to 10 minutes. And when you pull those out, you want to do the fork test on your green beans. If they are not, your fork does not go in there, you want to make sure that you put the green beans back in the oven for at least 5 more minutes. We're going to wait for our pork chops to rest. Alright, it's been 5 minutes. Look at all the juices from those pork chops. And look how nice and juicy that looks. We're going to take our pork chop, stick it on our plate. Add some of our seasoned green beans. Some of our caramelized peaches with that caramel sauce on there. There we have it. We have a pork chop with caramelized peaches and some seasoned green beans. We hope that you enjoy this recipe.